excited.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's great to see you all here today. Welcome to Ignite 2024. I'm Meera Venkatesh, and I lead the Partner Investments go-to-market functions at Microsoft. It's never been a better time to be a partner of Microsoft. As Satya stated yesterday, Microsoft is a partner-led company, and we pride ourselves that we have the largest partner ecosystem in the industry. So to accelerate our collective growth, we have designed our investment portfolio to empower you all to deliver outstanding customer results. This year, we have aligned our investment portfolio to the top 5 MCAPS priorities: Copilot, AI design solutions, cybersecurity, M365 core execution, and migrations. As you can see from the impressive numbers on the slide, if you focus on the 5 priorities, you have wealth of opportunity to seize this year. There is an opportunity for every partner, for any role you play across all stages of customer lifecycle, across all our solution areas, across these 5 priorities. We are investing in you more than ever, and our investment portfolio has never been bigger. We'll go deep on each of these areas, and some of the key leaders will be joining me on stage. But before I go deeper, I want to express our collective gratitude for everything you have accomplished in the past year. We evolved our portfolio to better reward partners who are focusing on all stages of customer lifecycle, and you have seized the opportunity. This past year, as an example, just in partner activities, you have delivered over 16,000 projects across pre-sales and post-sales engagements. And currently, over 8,000 projects are already in progress. And you have touched over 11,000 new and unique customers across all of these activities. These are truly amazing numbers, and I can't wait to see what you'll deliver in FY25. Let me start with Copilot investment. So Satya stated yesterday, and he shared several customer examples, Copilot has been transforming businesses everywhere since we introduced this last year, across all customer sizes, across all industries. This past July, we consolidated all our partner investments for Copilot in a single initiative and announced Copilot Accelerate. With 3 activities and differentiated engagement sizes, Copilot Accelerate is everything you need to deliver customers' Copilot journey. You are very critical for our customers' Copilot journey. So we have increased your earning opportunity by 10 times over last year. Now, to go deeper on these investments and celebrate your accomplishments and your opportunity, I would like to now invite Uriel on stage from Modern Work Marketing. Take it forward.
Thank you, Meera. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's good to see some familiar faces in the audience. Many of you are probably already familiar with the Copilot Accelerate investment, but I'm just going to take a minute to do a quick level set. Hopefully, you had the opportunity to see the keynote yesterday, and you saw some of the incredible innovation that we're bringing to the product, some of the incredible progress that we're making with customers in the ecosystem out there. We take those learnings, and we take that innovation, and we package it into these engagements in order for us to be able to represent our best practices and the collective knowledge that we've gathered from the market, and to give them to you so that you can use them in order to execute, use that as a starting point for you to be able to accelerate your own engagements with your customers. And on top of that, you get to add your own secret sauce, your own recipe in order to be able to bring in your unique IP. There's 3 flavors of these engagements. There's the vision and value engagement, which is there to help you identify those high-value scenarios, build the business case, build the implementation roadmap in order to be able to demonstrate to the customer why it's worth the investment of their time and effort, how it's going to transform their business, give them a vision of what's possible. The proof of value engagements are there for the customer to be able to evaluate on a smaller scale. Pick a couple of those high-value scenarios, implement them in 1 or 2 key departments so that they can actually see it in action, give them that immersive experience so that they can be hands-on, show them how by extending with agents they're able to actually go and automate some of their business processes. Implement some of those Copilot analytics capabilities in order to show them how to measure the impact, how to see the ROI. And then for customers that are ready to then take that next step and invest more broadly, the deployment and adoption engagements are there in order to help get them to value faster. The funding that we put behind this is to accelerate your time to execution, your time to win, and to subsidize your cost of sales so that you're able to move faster and that together we're able to convert more of those opportunities more quickly. The traction that we've seen, the uptake from you, the execution that you've delivered in just the last quarter and a half has been phenomenal. We've seen over 5,000 engagements already completed and in progress. And the results that you're delivering in terms of contribution to new revenue for Copilot inside of Microsoft, the pipeline that you've already created and that you're helping us drive together is phenomenal. And it's great to see this new club forming, this exclusive club, if you will, of partners that have already influenced and driven more than $1 million of Copilot revenue. We're looking forward to welcome many more of you into that club as we go forward. And I just want to extend a very big thank you on behalf of Microsoft for this great partnership and all of the fantastic results that we've been able to achieve together. We're looking forward to doing a lot more in the future. I also just want to end here by spending a minute on what we see as the evolving partner opportunity for Copilot. This is very often the topic of conversation when I'm meeting with partners who are newer in the space or are ramping up and evolving their practice in order to be able to take advantage of this once-in-a-generation opportunity. Every year, we do a study where we go and interview our best-performing partners and understand from them how they make money off of services and solutions related to our portfolio. What are the average engagement sizes? What kind of services are they able to sell? What are customers taking? What are customers not taking? From that, we get an aggregate view, a composite view on how the best-in-class partners are able to monetize Microsoft solutions, and that's what you see in front of you. Already, when we did this study a few months ago, when Copilot had only been in market for 9 months, we were seeing that Copilot was delivering a very significant uplift to the opportunity that partners were able to monetize. Part of that was indirect, with customers spending more money on their productivity infrastructure in order to prepare for AI. And part of that was already starting to convert into direct Copilot services opportunities. The ability to monetize building out AI strategies, using advisory capabilities in order to identify what those business cases were going to be and build the roadmap for how to implement it. Doing the necessary work in order to prepare the infrastructure, make sure that the data security was where it needed to be so that the customer didn't have concerns around oversharing. Through the implementation, making sure that the adoption and change management was taking place so that customers were getting used to the new behavior that they needed to apply. And the emerging opportunity, the biggest opportunity, I think, for partners in this space is the extensibility opportunity, building agents that are then going to transform customers' business processes, integrating into line of business systems. This is the opportunity that I think is going to be the most substantial. And really what I see as the best practice, or what I see as the most effective way to get traction, is when you are able to address as many of those needs as possible to be able to represent this holistic solution to your customer. And when you're able to wrap that up into something that resembles a transformation factory so that you can go in and help a customer transform a portion of their business, a department, a set of processes, deliver success, and then expand to the next process and the next department and the next set of users. And through that, create this flywheel, create this annuity revenue stream that delivers ongoing value and ongoing success to your customer. So this is an incredible start that we've got. We've got a massive journey ahead of us. We couldn't be more excited to be undertaking this journey with you. Thank you for everything that you do, and looking forward to the rest of the partnership through the rest of the year.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing, Uriel, and thanks all of you, for your contributions on this Copilot journey. Let me focus now for a minute on some of the numbers that shows the value of partnering with Microsoft. Nicole covered this in her keynote, and it's a great reminder even in this session. So one of the ways we measure ourselves and the value we provide back to the partner ecosystem is how we enable partners to build healthy, thriving growth businesses. A recent IDC study indicated that for $1 of Microsoft revenue, our services-led partners make about $8.45, and our software-led partners earn about $10.93. This shows the vast scale and opportunity for you all. And partners who are engaged in Microsoft AI stand out with accelerated revenue and profitability. As a reminder, Microsoft AI stack includes Copilot, its extensibility through Copilot Studios, and all of the underlying services as building blocks within Azure AI stack. So 81% of the partners surveyed believe that engaging in Microsoft AI stack will help them grow higher rate in revenue and profitability. In fact, 25% of partners who earn 25% of their revenue from Microsoft AI stack already seeing an accelerated pace of the revenue and profitability growth for that part of the business. So to help you all with accelerated AI journey, apart from the Copilot investments, we have significantly increased our investments in these two offerings, hero offerings, Azure Migrate and Modernize, and Azure Innovate offerings. These two offerings work together to enable customers to adopt Azure services. By leveraging these investments, if you help a customer migrate to Azure and help them implement AI stack, you can scale and deliver AI design solutions. Now, to go a little bit more deeper on these two hero investments and celebrate your success, I would like to now invite Ashley on stage from Azure Marketing to join me on the stage.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you. Ashley Asdourian. OK, good there. I couldn't hear myself for a moment. Ashley Asdourian, I lead the Azure and Industry Partner Marketing and Strategy for Microsoft. And I love the way that Meera just set that up. Let me actually get to the offering slide here. I love the way that she set up Azure Innovate and Azure Migrate and Modernize as working in tandem. They really work together. I always like to start with this slide to showcase everything in one place. And I'll talk about Azure Essentials in just a moment. That might be new to some of you in the audience. Because truthfully, this is your one-stop shop across the customer journey to get the investments, to get the funding that you need to help your customer no matter where they're at. Whether they're at the beginning of their AI transformation journey and they're still actually in the stages of migration, or whether they're looking at fabric solutions and analytics or developer productivity to accelerate that development and the realization of AI, we have all of it in these two offerings. And they're really meant to be used interchangeably based on where the opportunity is and where your customer's at in their maturity and in their journey. And in July, we recently launched Azure Essentials. And this is really the underpinning of our two hero offerings for Azure. While it is not funding, what it is a set of assets, tools, and training for all of you to make sure that the customer's outcomes are really the most secure, reliable, and performant. And so, again, as I mentioned, this is really us bringing together all of the greatest assets that we have, tools, frameworks, to really make sure that you have the most elevated outcomes with your customers. And so, again, not funding related, but really to make sure that that funding is executed and the opportunity outcomes are the most, or let's say, highest standard of expectation for our mutual customers. Okay, I'm going to take a little deeper dive into both Azure Innovate and Azure Migrate and Modernize. So first up, Azure Migrate and Modernize. 50% increase year over year in our investment here. This offering has actually been in market slightly longer than Azure Innovate. And so I'll talk about the growth of that in just a few moments. But 50% year over year continues to be exponential in its growth, in our utilization, in our partner ecosystem, really driving migrations, especially with a focus on the infrastructure and database migrations. So this is from your Windows and SQL, Linux, and OSS as well. Our AVS solutions with a huge opportunity in market right now as well, and also SAP. And then we have the newest, about a year-ish in market, and that is Azure Innovate. And this year, we made a $150 million investment incrementally to helping you to drive the design, the building, and the deployment of that AI transformation with your customers. Now, this one is quite diverse also, this offering, in what it provides to help you in this AI transformation journey with customers. We are offering both the build and modernize AI apps. So it is both the building, the designing, the deploying of apps, but it's also the modernization. So that solution play, as we call it, is quite diverse in the scenarios and the outcomes that it's providing to your customer. Again, lots of flexibility there based on where they are in their journey. We also have accelerating the developer productivity, and most recently, and analytics, excuse me, that's a really important one too, especially with Azure Databricks and Fabric. The analytics, and especially all of us already knowing and getting familiar with your AI is really only as good as your data. The analytics solution play and engagement type has actually also been quite thriving in Azure Innovate. But most recently, we launched the Azure AI Platform, or Innovate with the Azure AI Platform, also giving you investments in your proof of concepts, your proof of values, as well as that deployment funding as well, to help not only show your customers the art of the possible, but then to move them with compelling offers into production and into deployment. And I just want to finish up by celebrating a little bit of that momentum I mentioned. You know, AMM, Azure Migrate and Modernize, has been in market slightly longer, but it has already had 10,000 deployments. And Azure Innovate itself has had 4,000, and not too far behind for actually launching only in the last year. That is $140 million since FY24 in incentives back into you, back into your businesses, and into your customers to really get the most thriving outcomes for your customers. So thank you guys. For those of you who are already using Azure Migrate, Modernize, and Azure Innovate, I hope you continue to double down and give us feedback so we can iterate and make it the most successful offering. And then for those of you that this is new to, I hope you go check it out and you experience it for the first time. I think that the offering here, Azure PL Offerings, will give you an overview of everything you need. Particularly for those that are Azure Advanced Specialized, you will have access in Partner Center already to check it out and get started. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Thank you. That's incredible. Thanks again for partners delivering these results. Now, let me take a moment to talk about security opportunity. Every year, Microsoft initiates an independent study from Forrester Research to evaluate the partner value as they build and deliver security services based on Microsoft technologies. As you can see from the slide, this year, in the very latest report, we saw that partners who engage with enterprise customer saw a 10% increase in their revenue year over year when they deliver security solutions. And if they add managed services, they saw a 17% year over year growth. In the SMB space, the growth is equally impressive, 19% increase in year over year when they deliver security solutions, and 53% increase in year over year growth when they add managed services. So it's an incredible opportunity out there for us. So to help you with your security practice, this year, we increased the investment significantly by adding an additional $90 million incremental investment for you to seize the vast market opportunity. With increased investments across threat protection and data security, Defender for Cloud Attach, Sentinel Migrate and Modernize, premium CSP rate differentiations for ME5, and strategic cybersecurity investment, you have significant opportunity to go and capture the market. I would now like to invite Paul from Quorum Cyber to join me on stage to share a little bit more about their security practice. Let's help. No, I can bring mine. It's OK. Thank you. Thank you for joining, Paul.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about Quorum Cyber.
Yeah, so Quorum Cyber would be in the category of what we'd call an MSSP, or Managed Security Service Provider. We bring services to market, threat intelligence-led, managed detection and response, extended detection and response, and also emergency incident response. Alongside of that, we have a professional services team, an advisory team, and an offensive security team. And our entire business is built around Microsoft security.
Great, thank you. So when you work with the customers, when you deliver the security practice, what do you see as the most opportunity this year?
Yeah, there's a few things. You'll continue to hear the theme around lack of cybersecurity talent. And just because, I was talking to one of the team members outside around how does one get into this thing we're seeing, right?
Yeah.
And did you go to school for that? I'm like, no, there's no going to school of managing Microsoft as a partner, right? So it's like, but you can get skilled in cybersecurity, but it's more than that. Now you have to understand Microsoft security, right? So we actually developed an intern program where we take college graduates as interns, and we sort of teach them on top of the cybersecurity skills they've learned in university. We then give that Microsoft influence to them. So that's one continuing thing, finding and keeping talent. The second is just the increase of threat actors around, right? And then customers being able to stay ahead, and this is where our threat intelligence team comes in. All of our customers have access to our threat intelligence information, and we have a team that does that. But staying ahead of those threats is a big challenge. And the third is keeping pace of the innovation in their own data centers and security landscape, that whatever Microsoft is getting out into the market, staying in pace with that innovation. And we've actually seen in our incident response business, we've actually seen customers that are all bought in on E5, and they've done everything they could to secure themselves, but there was a control here or a tweak there where it left a hole open, right? So we came in, we tweaked that, and then that's where our extended detection and response service comes in. We own the control plane, we do the configuration, we do the management.
Great, okay. It's great to see the customer opportunity, and security is critical for all of us. You've heard Satya talk about the importance of security even for our business and customers. So how have you leveraged our investments in delivery and driving customer outcomes?
Yeah, so we've developed a co-sell win formula, right? So my team's responsibility is to really understand the most efficient, profitable way in working with Microsoft, right? So we've developed a win formula that supports our co-sell process with Microsoft, and that is aligned to the Microsoft Customer Engagement Methodology, or MSEM. And then within the stages of the MSEM, this is where you pick the investments you want to take advantage of, right? Whether that be MCI or CSI, ESIF, fast track vouchers. And part of the problem is understanding all of that, right? So looking at every part of the MSEM lifecycle and then plugging in the right investment, but also understanding, is this the right investment to plug in at this time, right? So if we do this engagement, is that going to move the deal forward? Because if it doesn't, it's not good for us, and it's not good for Microsoft, right? As Microsoft wins, we win, since we are a Microsoft-only service provider. So we built that out, but it also goes farther than that. You really need to operationalize this investment. And I don't look at it as one single investment vehicle. I look at it as the entire opportunity of investment available to us, and then using those in the right place. Right. And people will say, well, we can use ESIF over here. I'm like, no, that's not the right way to do that. Do this over there.
Yeah, yeah.
And we've seen if we put some guardrails around how we're using the investments, then you can start to look at what is the ROI for us on using these investments and the ROI for Microsoft on using those investments. So we've seen, and for CSI specifically, we've got a 3x return on new opportunity.
Great.
So for every CSI dollar we take in, we find $3 additional of additional opportunity, and that comes into that 17% and 53% for enterprise and SMB. But taking that a step farther, what I would tell anyone who wants to maximize this stuff and make the most out of it is it has to be a program inside of the business so that the business understands what Microsoft investments mean and what it means to the business. Right? So I have formed a program that includes ownership. I have someone that owns all investments at the company. They're responsible for not only understanding what new investments are coming, they're tracking performance of investments, they are doing enablement for the sales team so the sales team can understand how to position these investments.
That's awesome,
as well as technical enablement for the pre-sales team and the delivery team, because these are the guys that are delivering this stuff. And I found out years ago it's very important that a delivery person understands this is paid by customer or this is paid by Microsoft, right? Because it's two separate things.
Right.
So all the stakeholders need to get aligned and really understand how to make the most of the investments.
Great, that's incredible to see. You covered all the gamut of investments we have here, so thank you for that.
Thank you for that $90 million.
Of course. As you look towards 2025, what are you most excited about?
Obviously more investments, but we have a pretty robust roadmap around Copilot, right? So some of our services have Copilot for Security injected in them today, but as Copilot for Security continues to evolve in support of an MSSP, right, how we operate with our different tenancies, and we're working with the Copilot team to do that. So we want to see, obviously, Copilot-enabled services across the board 100% for our customers.
Great.
Right? Yeah. And then again, it goes back to how do we take those Copilot investments to enable that customer because that's what we're here for, right? We are here to further the customer journey, and we're here to further the Microsoft mission.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for sharing, and I'm sure it's a great opportunity for everyone as well, but thank you for sharing your story. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I think we can leave it here. That's fine.
Leave it.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks so much again, Paul. I also want to take a moment to celebrate all of you more broadly. So based on all the investments from the past year, we have seen over 3,000 customers being engaged by all of the security partners in delivering pre-sales and post-sales engagements. And more than 1,500 projects are currently in progress. And you've earned over $120 million already since FY24 through all of our security investments. And I can't really wait to see the results for FY25. Now on to our core foundational imperative, Microsoft 365 execution for our collective joint success. This is critical for our collective joint success to ensure customer adoption of Microsoft 365. With this in mind, we have increased our investment in Adoption Accelerator to ensure customer adoption of the Microsoft 365. Specifically in SMC, this year, we have increased our investments by double digits. As Nicole covered yesterday, 70% of our entire portfolio of investments is directed at SMC, including CSP, our cloud, our foundational breadth offering. Across solution areas, we have maintained a standard core rate, and we have rich and focused investments on strategic accelerators, including Microsoft 365 E3, E5, Business Premium, Business Central, Copilot, and AI workloads, and material investment for driving new customer adoption. So, across our portfolio, through our focused investment, you can be confident to take a bet on the SMC segment. As I'm coming to a close, let's take a moment here. As Satya and several key leaders indicated yesterday, this past year, we have seen tremendous innovation and disruption due to AI. AI has been unlocking faster time to value across all industries, all businesses, and all customer sizes. There was a tremendous set of customer examples yesterday that he shared during the keynote. We are at a unique crossroads of market trends and technology advancements. In these ever-changing times, you, our partners, are our constant, and you all make more possible. In closing, I want to reiterate, our investments are designed with you in mind. By aligning your business strategy to our priorities, you can take advantage of the huge momentum we see this year and maximize your earning opportunity across all your practices. Reinvest your earnings to accelerate growth. Capitalize on the market opportunity. Our most successful partners take a bet on Microsoft platform to build their business, and we have such an incredible opportunity together. Thank you again for your great partnership. Thanks. So here are some key resources for you, and we also have an incentive desk in GPS Hub. And thank you for those who are standing without chairs. I was told that this is the largest room in the venue, so it's incredible to see your interest for this session. So we have an incentive desk, and we have a second session tomorrow in case if you have other partners or you want to revisit again. And so tomorrow at 2:30, we have another session here tomorrow. Thanks again so much.